Hello everyone, my name is Elizaveta. Welcome Talk channel. Today we will be talking about the global talent visa, and in particular, do you need to have a public profile to get this visa? Many people ask us this question because many people just have been working and not even thinking about the public profile until they started thinking about getting global talent visa, and sometimes it requires a public profile, and this seems to be an issue for some people. There is an official global talent visa guide, which is called the Tech Nation Visa Guide, and I will leave a link to this guide down below. And usually, when we're talking about publications, we are looking into this guide. So one of the four documentation that you will need to provide as a part of your global talent visa application is your pieces of evidence, so-called. Pieces of evidence should be built this way. There are five criteria. Which one of them is mandatory. It's just called as that mandatory criteria, and you will need to cover it either way. And there are four more from which you can choose any two and start building your application around these three criteria. So what are these optional criteria that you can choose from? These are contribution, and contribution to the field is one of the, I think, 95% of people applying for this criteria. And this is extremely popular. We can show your work and your impact into a digital technology product in any kind of a role. You can be front-end developer, you can be product manager, you can be CEO, it does not matter. We can show your impact on a digital product. This is what contribution is for. And this is one of the criteria that many people cover. And there is one more that you need to choose out of these three. One more criteria is the innovation. So if you have a patent, for example, or if you can choose that you have worked on innovative products, you can prove that, you can go for innovation. If you have a PhD, you can cover other criteria, which is called scientific impact. And if you have a PhD, you have published articles, for example, and you are quite active in a scientific field, you can go for that. And many people, they usually do not have these two. We mostly worked with maybe 5 cases of people with PhD in digital technology that would satisfy this criteria. And not many people work with innovative products either. So this is why the last criteria, the criteria that is left, is optional criteria 2, and it sounds like contributions to the field outside your main job. So this is your public profile. This is everything that you've done for IT outside your main job. This could include articles, mentorship, GitHub open source contributions. This could include any kind of conference speaking and anything that you could do outside of your main company, outside your main job for IT field. And when people start preparing their application for the Global Talent Visa, if they cannot prove innovation or scientific impact, the easiest thing out of these three is to make some articles, some public speaking, and so on, to cover that criteria, because it's the easiest one. You cannot get a PhD that fast. You cannot get an innovative product that fast, but you can get some articles, you can get some speaking and mentorship and so on. It's done very fastly and easily, usually. This is why people talk about that in general. So, and you don't have to have a public profile if you are covering other criteria, like optional criteria 1 and 4, for example, which are innovation and PhD, your scientific contribution. But you will need it if you cannot cover these. And what articles are what they should be for the Global Talent Visa? There are 2 main types of articles that you can provide for the Global Talent Visa, because this is something that many people are interested in. These could be like niche articles for experts by an expert. So this could be really focused on a specific topic. For example, how to make this a particular feature in a digital product, how to work in this and that. And this could be like you are sharing your very valuable information with other specialists. So this is the first type of the publication that can be. And the second is more of a wide broad, when there is a story about you as a specialist, but for a wider range of people. So this could be like an interesting story about an interesting person, how you worked on some kind of a product and so on. So these are two main types of publications that are articles that are possible. And it depends on the type of the article, the amount of views, but usually at least 1,000 views on the article would work. If you're interested in getting your global talent visa, and if you are interested in getting your public profile for the global talent visa, we can help you with that. You can sign up for a free consultation, and the contact information is down below. We would be happy to assist you and help you gain the criteria for the global talent visa. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.